Yo, what is up guys? It is the Coding Cyborg here. Welcome back to another tutorial on Python and on the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Pygame, and this is the introduction to Pygame, and we're going to be creating a basic game. So if you type in Pygame, it should say name error. Name Pygame is not defined. If it doesn't say that, that means you could skip the step that I'm going to show you. So we're going to be installing Pygame. So if you're on Windows, I want you to open the command prompt. And if you're on macOS, I want you to open the terminal. I think that's what it's called. So I'm on Windows. I'm going to open command prompt. And I'm going to say pip. Well, wait. Before we do this step will only work. So if it says Pygame is not defined, this step that we're going to do will only work if you added Python to the path, like I showed you. If you didn't, you can watch a video on how to manually add it to the path, or you could just uninstall it and reinstall it, and then make sure to check add Python to path. So if it's already added to the path, then you can do the step. So pip first you want to type pip. See now, if it says there's no such thing as pip, or pip is not a valid command, or whatever, that means you haven't added Python to path. So this means that if it has all this data, it means you have. So pip install Pygame. And it's going to start installing it. See, downloading Pygame, installing collected packages, Pygame. Just give it a second. Okay, just installed it. So now let's try typing Pygame. Now let's try typing Pygame. And, it still says Pygame. I think we're going to have to close it and open it again. Okay, so we just opened it again. I'm going to say Pygame. Pygame is not defined. Well, yeah, I don't think it's supposed to do that. So import Pygame. It's supposed to say this. I'm over the Pygame community. And if it doesn't say that, then that means you didn't install it properly. And then you can watch another video on how to install, or just replay how I just installed it. And yeah, it should work. So let's open a new file. Okay. So let's start with import Pygame. Okay, so like I said, we're going to import Pygame, and then we're going to initialize our game. We always have to do this for a Pygame to work. So we're going to say a pygame.init, like that. Okay, so now we're going to make a variable for our window. I'm going to call mine window, or you could call yours win or whatever. It's just a variable, so it can be called anything. Say window pygame.display.set underscore mode. And we're going to have brackets. And inside these brackets, we're going to say the height and the width of the window of our game. So we're going to say, let's say, I'm going to do width of 500, height of 500. And yeah, so this is the size of the window. So the next step is to give the program a name. So what I mean by the name is, if we go ahead and run it, we hit run module, okay, here, and it just has this black thing. It's very boring. You want to extend this? I do. So basically, this is called Pygame window. We're gonna name it and not call it Pygame window. Let's call it something else, like game. Okay, let's X this out. Okay, so to name it, we're gonna do pygame.display.set caption. And we're gonna do that, and inside here we're gonna type our name. Okay, so I'm gonna call mine game tutorial number 1. You can call yours whatever you want. I'm just calling it this. It's just a tutorial. And yeah, let's run this. And see, now it names it something. It's not called Pygame window. That sounds boring. So it's named. Now let's do the next step. Okay, so to move on to the next step, what we're gonna do is we want the characters in the game to move, right? But before we can actually make the characters, we have to give them some attributes. So like the width, the height, the X, the Y, stuff like that. So let's do that. So X equals 50, Y equals 50, width equals, what's a good width? Let's say 40, and then height, I could make 60. Then we're gonna make the velocity, I'm gonna call that vel. Say vel equals 5. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give a variable called run equals true. Okay, run equals true. Now we're gonna say while run, so while it runs. So while it's running, here, this is our main loop. Now in our main loop, let's add a time delay. So I'm gonna say Pygame dot time delay equals, actually no, I'll just add it in here. So this time delay is just like the clock. So we would have that amount of seconds, say 100, except one more thing. I messed up when I typed it. It's time dot delay, not time delay. Now if you want to do a full second for the time delay, this isn't 100 seconds. This is actually 100 milliseconds. 1,000 milliseconds is one whole second. You can go to Google and then type milliseconds to seconds. Okay guys, sorry. I had a setting that said Yahoo as my default. I don't know why. I didn't want Yahoo. I'm on regular Google. Okay. Now let's type milliseconds to seconds. Okay, so 1 millisecond is 0.01 seconds. So like I said, if we make it 1,000, that's 1 second. But right now, what we're doing is 100 seconds. So you can put in here the amount of seconds you want. So, well, 1 second that would be 1,000. 10? No, I would not do 10 if I were you. But you could play around with this. That's the fun part about Python and other programming languages. You get to play around with it, learn more, test it, make sure it's right. Okay, so we're back in the program. Like I said, I'm doing a time delay of 100 milliseconds, which is 0.1 seconds. Okay, so next we want to find events. So events could be like, let's say if you move your mouse. That's an event. Another event is if you click an arrow key, like that. Those are all events. So we're gonna be making a list by doing lists. Let's say for event in Pygame .event .get. Then this is our for loop, so we're gonna write something in the for loop. So now what we want to do is make this list a bunch of events like mouse position moved here or left arrow key clicked. It's just basically what the user does. So now we're going to be listing one event. So if, no wait, wrong spot. Sorry. Okay. So let me fix that real quick. Okay, so if event.type equal to Pygame.quit. So that's basically if you hit that big red X over here, in the Pygame window, if you hit remember when I tried to do it, I realized that you can't do it. So now it's actually going to work. So if you hit the big red X over here, it's going to be in the Pygame window, then it's going to quit. Exit out the program. So now it's actually going to work. Then there's a colon over here. Then we're going to say, remember when we said run equals true, we're going to say run equals false. And outside the loop, we could write Pygame dot click. But we're gonna keep that at the very bottom so that it only quits at the very end. So let's move it. So we're gonna write, what I'm trying to say is we're gonna write code above this instead of below it, because then it's gonna quit the program and we'll still be writing code, so then the code won't function. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so let's run this. So let's hope that the X button works, because see, let's try Xing it out, and hopefully we don't get an error, or hopefully it doesn't like work like remember before where the X button didn't work. Let's hope it works. Fingers crossed, everybody. And it works, and there's no error. Okay, so of course it's gonna work. This is correct code. Always trust code, Xavier. Gives correct code. Okay, so let's get out of this if. Let's go back into the for loop. Except it's not getting inside the if. So here, we're out of the, actually no, we're out of the for loop. We're actually in the while loop right now. And we're gonna type Pygame. So we're gonna make right now an actual like character, but that's gonna be a rectangle. I know, pretty boring. But it can be any shape. You can like the polygon, rectangle, stuff like that. You can look on the Pygame website for more shapes. And yeah, so let's make a rectangle. So it's pretty simple. We're gonna say pygame.draw.rect. Kind of sounds like get wrecked, bro, but it's actually just rectangle. Then we're drawing it for the window. So we're gonna say a variable name, window, whatever you named it. No, we're not gonna post that yet. So everything we do in this Pygame thing will be put on the window surface, like the window that we have. Like, if you don't know which window I'm talking about the Pygame window. See this window, and there's an error because we haven't finished typing. And look, again, this doesn't work. But we already know that there's an error, and right now, since we haven't finished our line, we haven't finished this, that's why there's an error. So we're gonna put the height over here. So right now we're gonna put the colors, and we are gonna have to put it in RGB. So basically, we can go to Google or whatever you have, and then type in RGB colors, and then we can like say the color we want, like pick it from the color coder, and it'll give us what RGB numbers there are. So yeah. Okay, so I already know the RGB colors for what color I want, but I'm still gonna go to the website so I can help you guys out. Or you could just go yourself. So RGB color picker. See, and it's gonna have the RGB. So I thought there was like a website that we have to go to. I didn't know that Google had its own, but yeah, that's pretty neat. Color picker. Where's the red that I want? Okay, good. Okay, so how do we want to change this? So basically what I want to do is right now it's just a boring rectangle, just sitting right there doing nothing. I want it to actually move when we press arrow keys. That's the point of this video. So to do that, we're going to have to define keys. So we're going to have to make that a variable. So let me go ahead and move this down so I can write some more code up here. Okay. Let's say keys equals Pygame dot keys dot get pressed. Okay, so we just defined keys. And one more thing, I think it's not keys, I think it's key. We're gonna do a little event thing, and then I'm gonna do a little if thing and see if it was pressed. So let's say if keys Okay, so now we're gonna say, well, no, we're gonna say pygame.key. And actually, let's make this all caps. And let's say key left. So that's the left key, the left arrow key. I'm gonna change key to K. I'm gonna say if pygame, so then something's gonna happen, but we're gonna write that next. So first, I wanna copy this, paste it, paste it, paste it. Okay. Now I'm gonna change, so that says left. I'm gonna change this to right. And then I'm gonna change this to up. And I'm gonna change this last one to down. Okay. Now we're gonna say if keys, okay, so we're gonna, so here. So I'm gonna say X equals, so that's the X position. I'm gonna say minus equal to the velocity. Let's copy this and then let's paste it over here. Oops, accidentally hit caps lock again. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so now I'm gonna say plus equals. And over here, I'm gonna say minus equals, except we're gonna change it to Y. And then for the last one, we're gonna say plus, and we're gonna change it to Y. Okay, so that's that. So now let's run it. I can test it. Minus equal, okay, yeah, I think I typed it wrong. I don't think it's minus. Okay, now this should work. Let's run it. Open the Pygame window. Now let's hit right and left. Now look, it moves it and it creates a big blob, which we do not want. And the reason why it's doing this is because we never actually do. We said to like make the rectangle move, but we never said to delete the old one and replace it with this. So it's just a big blob. And wait, can I write something with this? No, I can't. Okay, so what we need to do to fix this is, and it's not actually gonna fix it, but we're gonna do win.fill. No, not win. Why did I do win? Window, because that's our variable name. Window.fill. Inside here, let me just go ahead and do that. Okay, so inside here, we're gonna say the color. I'm gonna make it match the background color. So I'm gonna say 0, 0, 0. So that's the RGB for the background color. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to do the same thing, but the old things, instead of deleting them, it's actually just going to make them black. So it looks like it's actually getting deleted, but it's actually isn't. It looks invisible. See, look. Now you can actually move it, but actually the blob thing is actually just black. We cannot see it, and it actually looks like there's not a big blob. So yeah, we just fixed that. So that's that. So we just taught you how to do basic arrow keys in Pygame. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Okay guys, so I'm right now currently in editing mode, and this part got cut out, so I just want to say that so for a sneak peek, I was going to say a sneak peek for the next tutorial. So basically, in the next tutorial, we're going to be working on some boundaries where the player can move, and we're going to make the player being able to jump. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you like and subscribe. See you guys in the next tutorial, which should upload tomorrow.